McKenna for House of Scouse in association with Radio Florrie, and welcome to the very first episode of ScouseCast, a podcast for Liverpool by Scousers. As I said, I'm McKenna. I've got to my left the Vincent Manor House of Scouse, and seeing as we all give ourselves ridiculous American titles, the Chief Executive Officer, shall we say, of House of Scouse, Mr. John Porter. You going to say good evening or?
Good evening. Hi.
There's a microphone in front of you.
Yeah. Hello.
And what role have we got for you then, Jack?
Don't think I've been allocated one yet now.
You're the looks. Come on, let's be honest.
Okay, so you're the head of media. You're the head of media and advertising.
I'll take that.
You'll be the face of House of Scouse. Okay, and I'll be me. But we've got someone opposite us at the moment. We've already got a guest here in the studio. We kind of rely on him a little bit for boxing knowledge now and again because Scholars is almost as good as this lad's. But from the Liverpool Echo, from many boxing websites, we've got, well, he's our boxing Yoda, not sports Yoda really, Mr. Elliot Foster. Good evening, Foz.
What's up, man? How are we?
Good evening.
Hello, Foz. How we doing?
All good. Listen, long time no see.
It is indeed.
Been a while.
I know it is indeed. Last time I saw you was I was trying to bum off your Wi-Fi at the Liam Smith fight.
You were.
Glad you said that. I thought that was going in a completely different angle.
No, we're family friendly, aren't we? Remember. But yeah, as usual, you wouldn't let me steal your Wi-Fi, and you wouldn't actually tell anyone the Echo Arena. Oh no, it's M&S Bank Arena's password. No, insisted on taking my phone off me and typing the password in, so I wouldn't give it to anyone else.
Right. Only because I had copy to write, and if everyone else jumped on the Wi-Fi, I wasn't getting my copy sent through. So
I can't see nothing we've done wrong. To be perfectly honest,
everyone's entitled to the M&S Bank Arena's Wi-Fi.
We're from Liverpool, and instantly we're brought up to look after yourself, isn't it? You know, you look after your own. Foz, you've done nothing wrong, mate.
At the end of the day, right? At the end of the day, I've got a job to do.
I had a job to do.
My job is to provide a service.
Did you get an interview with Philip Bowe's mum? No, I did.
Well, I wasn't quite interested in Philip Bowe's mum, with the greatest respect to Philip Bowe's mum.
Right, do you know what? You missed out.
Let me tell you why.
Go on.
Right, I'll tell you why.
Come on.
Because I work for the Liverpool Echo, right? Philip Bowe's is from Leytonstone.
Right.
So, Tom Farrell, who was beaten by Philip Bowe's, was the story for me.
Well, I got the human angle of what it is for family members to be there when a boxer's getting his face punched in.
Right.
But you work for the school newsletter.
Right.
Right.
Yes,
So now we're
agreement.
Right. First topic of the evening. Right. Jack, are you going to go first, or we'll sit on the school newsletter for now? Do you want to start with sport, or should we just keep going?
No, we'll start with sport. Just want to touch on the two seasons that Everton and Liverpool have had. We'll start with what we'll call a biased view of Everton. Seeing us all sitting around the table here is.
I've got a present for Foz actually. This is the. I know. This is the congratulations on 97 points award. So there you go. There's a trophy.
Ooh. Cheers, Ant.
No worries. Don't worry, lads. There's trophies for you.
You sure Jack's not doing an actual gloves it off here? Jack's not like Johnny Nelson, who's who was squaring up to have a straightener.
Shaking here.
Foz is 1-0, isn't he? It's Danny Matthews.
Let me throw me oar in here on this whole Liverpool celebrating getting second and getting 97 points but not winning the league.
Okay.
Right? If you're not first, you're last. That's the way I'm seeing it. I'm not having this whole, oh, we've had a great season, we pushed Manchester City close, this, that, the other. I'm just not having it. We didn't win the league. That's Liverpool's fault. It's Liverpool's fault because they failed to win at Everton. Right?
Ooh.
That's a big admission.
Well, it is, if you think about it.
They failed to win at Everton Football Club.
The last time Liverpool lost points in the title run was at Goodison Park. Now, there's an interview out there with Andy Robinson where he made a statement at the end of the match. And, okay, don't get me wrong, banter between football's good, and the fans at Goodison sometimes can. As an Evertonian, I'm not being biased by saying this as a Liverpool fan, the fans at Goodison can sometimes overstep the mark in certain ways.
But so let me caveat that by saying, so can fans of every other football club.
Oh yeah, but I'm an Evertonian. It's probably known out there. You know, at House of Scouse, there's a lot of Evertonians in there. There's Liverpoolian here just to thin the mill. You know what I mean? But I think statements get made throughout the season, and as a club as Everton, we're not going to be challenging for titles. So for us to look back at our season and say, what's our big point? Marco Silva, there's hit and miss with that, but we can say hand on heart that we've got no trophy to celebrate at the end of the season, but it's that much sweeter knowing that we cost Liverpool their trophy. And that, as an Evertonian, we get called with bitter because we say that's something for us to laugh about.
It's called celebration because it's, without disrespect to Everton Football Club, and I'll never ever disrespect Everton Football Club or any other football club for that matter, but it's called celebration because it's all realistically, in a season of ups and downs, it's all they've been able to celebrate.
Yeah, you know, that's where I was going back to the point. There's not much for Blues to sing about this season.
No, it's been a very, average has probably been.
And it's been even harder seeing how good Liverpool have been, and I'll take my hat off Liverpool and say, for me, when people look back and say Man City were the better team, I don't think they was. He may play the better football, but for me, Liverpool deserved to win that league this season. He never, and that's good, but I thought for the run they've done with the players that they've got compared to Man City, I think Liverpool should have won the league this season.
Alright, June the 1st, Liverpool are in another European Cup final.
Yes.
Second in a row?
Second in a row.
Second in a row.
Third European final.
4 years, isn't it? The record
third European final in 4 years. Second Europa League final on the bounce, and it's 12. Is it 12? No, sorry, 14 years on from Istanbul.
Right, so 4 of us sat around the table. Let's be honest, and I'll start it. I think Liverpool are going to win it on June the 1st. No. I think they're going to stew on it and beat Tottenham.
Liverpool win. I think a comfortable win. I think Tottenham will. I don't think they're capable of winning it.
My head says Liverpool wins because of the better team, but I just don't know. I think there's something in the water for this Tottenham team. I think Pochettino's just a genius. He's an absolute genius, and I just think out of any of the teams, obviously Barcelona, Liverpool weren't expected before they. Everyone had written them off. You know, Liverpool potentially done the biggest comeback since Istanbul. Now you're coming up against a Tottenham team. Its comeback was arguably just as good as Liverpool's,
if not better.
Yeah,
right, yeah.
I would argue, as a Liverpool fan, Tottenham's comeback was a better comeback in terms of stature, in terms of how unexpected it was. Against an Ajax side that surprised everybody all the way through the tournament, right? But I did say, after Tottenham beat Manchester City, I said they will go on and win it. I sat in my living room after Tottenham beat Manchester City and I said they will go on and win that tournament, and I stand by it.
Right, moving back to Everton a little bit, can we take heart from the fact that we've started beating teams in the Big Six? Because I know Jack and I had this conversation on WhatsApp. If you'd have told me when we had that run of 4 home games against 4 of the top 6, that if you either took 3 points off them, I'd have bit your hand off. If you'd have told me we were going to take 10 points and not concede a goal.
It does make a difference that we were beating them at home. And I think that if we'd have held on at Tottenham away, and I know Tottenham's focus was elsewhere, that would have been a bigger statement, because we've shown we can beat the 10 teams at home. Maybe not all that many in a season, but we've beat United, we've beat Arsenal at home, we've beat Chelsea at home, we've battered City. We can do it at home when the fans get behind us. And it's mad to think that a siren before one home game, has lit something under the fans. Like, it's mad. And when the fans get behind us, I genuinely don't think there's a team that in the league that we couldn't beat. I know it's a big statement, I know it's a brash statement.
At home, yeah.
David Moyes,
away from home,
in my era, has been, obviously I was born 85, but I missed the Kendall era, so I didn't get to see any of that. I was too young. Now, from my time of being an Evertonian, David Moyes has been the best manager from what I've seen. Now, David Moyes was always punished and always slated because he never had good results against the Big Four. Now, all of a sudden, we've got a manager and he's now getting results against the Big Four. Okay, so we're not winning trophies, we're not challenging for Champions League, but from where we were at the start of the season to the second half of the season, we've probably got a minor victory to be claimed in the fact that we have took points off the big teams and we have performed at home. But yet that followed on from defeats then at Fulham and Newcastle.
You look at Newcastle, if we're doing that against Newcastle, being 2-0 up, and no disrespect to Newcastle, but they're crap.
Yeah, well look at Fulham. Fulham's just lost 4-0 at home to Newcastle in their last game of the season, yet they turned us over and played their team. Is it the case of the caretaker now becoming a full-time manager? Had the effect with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer? He started struggling, now Scott Parker's just got the job full-time and now he's just lost his first game. But as I say, going back to that point, we're now beating the teams in the top 4. That's the best we can claim this season. Alright, we beat the teams and maybe Liverpool never won the title.
Are we seeing a turn in Everton fans' view of Marco Silva?
Not 100%.
No, I'm still on the fence if I'm being honest.
I don't think he was a bad. I don't think he's a bad manager. I think he had a bad start.
I don't think he's the wrong person. I don't think he's the right person. But I think for what we're doing right now, I can't look anywhere else and go, we could get him, we could get him, we could get him, we could get him. I think he just fit. I won't say a look as in the way, I'd just say like a style of football that we wanted with Marcel Brands, and I think he was seen as a stopgap maybe until we could go on and get someone bigger for when we move into a new stadium. But he will have convinced a few people, but I don't think he's convinced.
For me, the main manager at the club is Brands. Doesn't matter if it's Marco Silva runs whoever goes in charge. Marcel Brands is the man who runs Everton Football Club. So he come in with the perception of I want Marco Silva. White players, for me, I can't see where this big furore come around, why footballers wants to come and play for him and why Marcel Brands wanted him. He didn't do his job at Hull. He didn't do his job at Watford. How is he going to be the man to take Everton to the top 4? That's what I mean.
I think he plays the type of football that Marcel Brands wants.
It's that old perception of sexy football, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, we saw it with. We saw it
last when he went to Chelsea.
Exactly after he was in charge of Porto. We saw it with Pochettino as well. When Pochettino became the Southampton manager, when he was first brought over to England, he came with a philosophy that many saw as sexy. That's the only reason Tottenham appointed him as manager, because they liked his style of football. Ultimately, that appointment from Daniel Levy of Pochettino at Tottenham has turned out to be an absolute masterstroke.
Yeah.
However, don't fool yourself into thinking that Daniel Levy knew that this was going to come. Okay. Daniel Levy brought Pochettino in because he liked the style of football at Southampton, and no other reason.
Before we head into boxing, I've got one last question, and then because with you being a Liverpool fan, next season, does this galvanise Liverpool, or do you think ultimately next season Liverpool could fall a little bit because they knew they got this close and failed? Or will this be next season they turn around and go, well, right, you know, we got this close, watch us go next season?
Well, I think if you're looking at it from a personnel point of view, personally, I don't think there's too much that needs to be changed. I would like another left back as cover for Robertson. I would like a stronger midfielder. I believe Jurgen Klopp brought in Naby Keita and thought he would be the answer. Thought he could sit in front of the back four and do that job. Ultimately, he hasn't. Whether it's because he's still bedding into the Premier League or not, I'm not quite sure. But in this day and age, can you afford somebody a whole 10 months to bed in to a
There's got to come a time, hasn't he, where there's a line and you throw in the sand and think, right, he just can't cut the mustards.
Well, yeah. And that's where I'm at.
Yeah.
I think especially for the price, if you'd have played maybe half of it, he'd have got a lot longer to acclimatise to it.
He'd have been cut a little bit of slack, wouldn't he? But ultimately, what I'm saying is, I think we need another left back as pure cover for Robertson, because I think Robertson, along with Luca Dean, by the way, is one of the best left backs in the league.
Yeah.
I would go as far as to say we need another midfielder, somebody that is of the Fernandinho type, that will sit and enforce in front of the back four. Virgil van Dijk does the job at centre back.
I would say he's one of the best players in the world, if not the best at the moment.
I'm not convinced about Alisson in goal.
Are you not really?
I'm not convinced. I think if you were to weigh that one up, player on player, I'd have Ederson over Alisson.
Like your honesty.
And I don't think the front three needs much tinkering.
Let me just throw a curveball at you then.
Go on.
We're talking about signings.
Yeah.
More importantly, do you keep all your players?
No, we don't.
Who are the big boys stays? In your view, who do you think stays? Who goes?
I think Firmino is first out the door in terms of interest. I think Firmino's first out the door, and then after that you've got to look at Mane before you look at Salah. I think Salah's tied down to a deal that will sort of force his hand in terms of staying before he can look elsewhere next season. But you know, he's had one good season. He's had one brilliant season, and then an okay season just gone. One more year, and then off to Real Madrid if you want to go there. But in terms of first out the door, I'm looking Roberto Firmino or Sadio Mane. I think Mane's been superb over the past few weeks, and I think Salah's sort of dipped a little bit. And I'm not gonna sit and call him that one season wonder that everybody called Harry Kane, and he consistently did it for 5 years. I'm not gonna do that, because Mohamed Salah's got quality. You can see that in him, but he hasn't done it last season like he did the season before. Will he tail off again next season? Could we see a worse season, if you like, next season than what we've seen last season? We're not sure. We don't know.
The Africa Cup of Nations isn't next year, or is it
every year?
Didn't that get changed at the end of the season? No, it's not mid-season anymore, isn't it? I'm sure
Is it not January?
I'm sure I changed. Did you see something and you getting a change because of the influence the Premier League clubs?
Did you change it? Did you?
I had to go, like, don't get me wrong, I put a little moan up on Reddit and YouTube comments and that, but I think they confirmed it last week by they Bluetooth me, and then they sent me a message on my page,
Right,
so,
okay.
yeah. So I've got to go on AOL.com later.
Did you pay the relevant fee like to Infantino? No. You know, the hooded claw, the head of UEFA and FIFA and the whole of football.
No, I just paid
Big
Betty
oh.
from Belvale. Paid her.
That'll be where it went wrong then, Betty one.
Exclusive, Betty from Belvale, the liar.
While we've got people watching on Facebook Live, do you want to hold the boxing chat for now and do some other subjects for now? We'll hold off on the boxing chat with Fos.
Can I start a subject, right? And we've had a poll on the House of Scouse page, and people at home will probably have seen this. I basically called it the HUS Political Cup. So we have four political parties. So the first game, semi-final, we had UKIP taking on Labour.
Okay.
Labour won with a landslide vote.
Yeah.
Labour went through to the final. So then the next semi-final, we had the Tories, Conservatives. They were heading up against the Brexit Party. Brexit Party absolutely demolished them, as you would imagine. Theresa May's not going to do well anyway.
Did you put the balls in the freezer before the draw though?
I got accused of all kinds. I have people messaging me on Twitter asking me why I don't like Tommy Robinson, and as on House of Scouse we always stay neutral the whole point of it. So when we got to the final, it was Labour and Brexit. We had 24-hour vote online. Brexit won. 250 votes, 140 voted for Brexit, 110 went for Labour. So it was intriguing to get the view of our followers, whether that creates a snapshot of the country, the city, of somewhere, I'm not sure, but as I say, it was interesting results. I
just want to give a quick shout out to Sam Smith and Downs, who did turn around today and asked me why I didn't share the poll result on my personal Facebook page, because I seem to selectively share House of Scouse pages. So just for him, I have put it on my own personal page. I think it's not just a snapshot of the north or the northwest. I think currently it's a snapshot of how the whole country are feeling. The country is sick and tired of, obviously, those in number 10. Here's a prime example, and again, someone put it on Twitter earlier on. There's a picture from number 10 down the street. We put green lights above number 10 in order to support mental health awareness. We're not giving money to the NHS to help mental health awareness, but we're going to put green lights up on expenses. And then, even though I like Jeremy Corbyn, he's just sat there doing nothing now. He had Labour potentially could have had their foot on the Conservatives' throat, and they've done nothing with it. For me, I mean, I'm open when it comes to my politics. I'm a Labour guy through and through. I'm a paid up member of the party. I pay my subs every month. And we live here in Liverpool 8, and where we're recording from, we're right in the heart of Liverpool 8 at the moment. And our polling station, Sinclair Oak, is just across the way. And in my local MP, Louise Ellman, I don't know how much you guys watch like general election nights or anything like that. When they have that swing thing on like BBC and Sky?
Yeah.
On both sides, they put in order the seats from easiest to forget to win. No chance, forget about it. And every general election, Liverpool Riverside, Liverpool Bootle, Liverpool Walton, Liverpool Grassendale, they're all in the bottom 4. And what the Tory party do, they send, potential top MPs in the future to these regions to learn how to campaign in an election. That's the only reason you see the Tory names on the ballot, so they learn how to run a campaign. They know they're not going to win it. Especially around here, the Tory will lose his deposit, but the Tories will cover that on expenses, as they always do with everything. But round here, all Louise Ellman does is turn up away with his tennis centre once every 5 years, go hello, and then the returning officer goes, MP for Liverpool Riverside, Louise Ellman, she goes, right, see you in 5 years. So in Liverpool, it's like that. I mean, I'm sure it's the same up in Bootle as well.
For me, I find politics is frustrating. It's so frustrating for me. I mean, I'm a fundraiser. Anthony's been involved. He's all at some point been involved in some part of the shows we do, and we run fun. We do events. That's how we first started, to help disabled people in our community.
Exactly.
Now, for me, it should always be the elderly, disabled, and the sick. They're the 3 people we should be looking after. The kids will be fine because the parents should be fine. There's a lot of people out there. I can't see a party in this country in the last 20, 30 years who can follow through on what they've said. I've become so disillusioned with politics. I don't really have much of a view on it. I make statements now and then in the party and I get told I'm wrong and whatever, but I wouldn't say I'm politically minded, but I just don't vote. I don't like them. I don't trust them. I think they all should be held accountable for these false pledges that they make when they come into power. I will do this, this, this and this, and then 4 years later we're all forgot about what they promised and failed to deliver on. So for me, I look after my own and my community. I try my best, and I think it's sad that people like us should have to spend our time out in the community, that the government should be looking after themselves.
There was a picture a few months ago, I was doing rounds on Twitter where, I forget his name, the Conservative MP, and he was donating food to a food bank in a supermarket. And I'm thinking, like, does it just not compute?
But he was like, oh, look at me, look what I'm doing.
Yeah, it was a press opportunity for him, and I'm like, this isn't a press opportunity. This isn't, look at me, I'm giving them a box of cereal and a tin of baked beans. It's like, do something about it. There's no need for the level of poverty in this country.
Well, I'll throw some stats at you anyway. From where I am, Bootle Ward. Now, you've got 2 wards. You've got the Lineker Ward and you've got the Derby Ward. I'm in the Lineker Ward. The Lineker Ward I'm in. Now, we're in the bottom 2% in the whole of the UK for poverty. 51% of families in Bootle, in my area, are living below the poverty line. You see it throughout my area. There's gangs, there's drugs, scrambler bikes everywhere. You'll all probably know the sound of it yourselves, you know what I mean? 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night, trying to put the little one in bed, and you've got these kids out. Now, the problem is, we're getting them too late. They're getting picked up when they're about to go to jail, or they're about to be stabbed, or they're about to take the first hit of whatever drug. We should be getting them at a younger age. There should be more youth clubs. You know, there should be more social care within the area for kids. There should be more inclusion for the kids to be able to be challenged for what to do, and not just build them apart with a bit of cement and a couple of monkey bars and go, there you go kids, that'll keep us happy till he's 16.
Can I ask you then, because obviously I know, you know, when you asked me to come and work with House of Scouse and that, you know, you've got the Solly Boxing Club up there, you've got, you know, you've got Ride around the corner, you've got Marsh Lane, Red Triangle's not too far away.
No, you've got, in my area, you've got City Dankeys Gym, which is the North Mersey, you've got Robbie Butler's Ridal, you've got John Farrell and Dave, you've got Marsh Lane ABC, you've got a couple of MMA gyms that have started springing up around the city now, which is took over basically in my view.
Why do you, for me then, the question I want to ask is why, well, to ask everyone around the table, why do you think places like that, you know, why are kids not gravitating towards those places? Is it a generational thing now, or am I just an old guy?
From by my area, right, you can go to one gym, Marsh Lane, and it's £2 subs for the adults, it's £1 subs for the kids. There's your problem. You go to any other gym, you've got to pay £5 a session, you've got to pay 25 quid a month, you've got to pay 35 quid a month. As I just said earlier on, Bootle is in the bottom line for poverty.
And that poverty line's been changed as well to make that, so the true figure is going to be more than 51%, because we all know the Tories have moved the poverty line to make their figures look better. So for 51%, what are you looking, truthfully, 75, 80 maybe?
Possibly, yeah. You know what I mean? It's a poor area. There's no community like cohesion anymore. Nobody wants to open the door and go now. Everyone wants to shut the door and the curtains and look after their own, which is sad, because there's a lot of good people out there that need our support. And if me, Foz, Jack, yourself, even Eve, if we could walk down the street and we can help somebody, whether that's giving somebody a cigarette who's homeless, somebody, it doesn't really matter, but at that moment in time you've committed to help that person. It's not going to change their life, but at that moment in time that person knows that person cares. And that's all it is. If we can all care about one person, then the world will be a better place. We wouldn't have to be here now discussing it.
Yeah, but obviously Scott and I are pretty passionate about this, so what are yours and Foz, Jack, your thoughts on it?
Well, I count myself as pretty lucky. I've been brought up in the south of Liverpool. I've been well looked after. I'm not saying I've been spoilt, but I've not had to need for anything or want for anything growing up as a kid. And it was like, it's mad how literally one city is completely split, as in terms of you go past, you can have poverty like John's been talking about. You can have like a call an affluent area by where I live, and as John said, why does all the wealth have to be in one part? Why isn't it spread? What's the need for people to be there and being like, oh, look at me, I'm driving this, I'm driving that, like, who cares?
Foz, we'll have to give you just a couple of minutes on it and then we're going to move on. Sorry, dude.
No, I'm in a similar boat to Jack, you know, in that I was brought up well by me parents and grandparents. Never wanted for anything, never needed anything as a kid. I've sort of forged a path, a career path for myself. I've always wanted to work, but where the angle I'm gonna come at here is, for those that can't work, there isn't enough for them.
No, totally,
you know,
right.
I feel like, yeah, we're Northerners, we're forgotten about. All the good stuff is down south, and us Northerners, we're forgotten about. Anywhere from Birmingham upwards, it's that, oh, forget about them, don't worry about them, they'll sort themselves out sort of mentality. And I think that needs to change. And if that doesn't change, nothing is going to change.
No, I agree. Right, well, I think now's a good time for us to take a little couple of minutes break. We've got some great guests coming up anyway for you, so people listening, people watching at home, you'll like who's coming up next.
Facebook Live leaving us for now, or are we?
Yeah, we'll leave Facebook Live for now.
Yeah, because if you don't go on Facebook Live, then you won't listen to the rest of the podcast.
No. We'll be back in 2 minutes. We're just going to set up our act, get some music on for you guys, back to some questions, and then we'll finish with...
We'll have a bit of a fun chat.
The
gloves are off.
And trust me when I say this, kid, and there's nothing this kid doesn't know about boxing that's worth knowing. Is that right? Did I get that right?
Yeah, you got that spot on.
Everything that's worth knowing he knows.
There's nothing the Foz knows that it's worth us knowing about. Yeah. You got it spot on.
Something like that. I was trying to give him a compliment.
You can't believe me. If Foz actually get on, we don't really. We don't at all.
House of Scouse Television.
House of Scouse Television. With me, so guys, thanks for coming in on our debut show. Much appreciated as always. We know you guys obviously you've done loads of work with us for charity, a charity do House of Scouse and things like that. But you're not just there for our personal amusement and whenever we want to gig playing. Tell us about the band, how long do the boring bits first, how long you've been together and stuff like that.
We started in 2014, there was only 3 of us to start. There was only 3, started again,
yeah. We've got you on that anyway, just so you know.
First formed in 2014, there was only 3 of us to start with.
What date was that like?
2014, man.
What date?
I know the year. Do you know the date?
It was when the anniversary of Hillsborough.
So,
yeah.
Okay,
what was it, just session jam thing and just see
where
it went?
I had a few little songs that I wrote them that you mean, and I think I sent them to our Danny, and our Danny sent them to Waka saying, get our DVD yours and have a little go with them, do you mean? So I was recording into my phone and he went, shit recording, do you mean? He said, you know what you're doing, don't you? So get them down to yours, and that was it, that was how it started, do you mean?
And then how do you guys all come into it?
Yeah, I treated myself to a guitar for Christmas and an amp, and foolishly got onto Facebook, blatted.
You didn't get angry?
No, that was the day after, when I was out here. No, anyway, I got on Facebook, I put a little ad up. Anyone want to join a band? Or anyone in a band who needs a guitarist? And Waka got back to me, and then I phoned him, blatted.
So why is it a surname then? It's let's get a bit of dissension started. Oh no, you don't get split once, how many will get into that?
No, that was not the songs, that was about commitment. Yeah, it was just a commitment thing. Yeah.
No, I mean the name of the band, is that about his ego or just...
Yeah,
it's I said that this is my
rules, my name.
No, it wasn't my idea, to be honest. So
no.
It was your idea, wasn't it?
No, we were looking at the idea of who's Hegarty. Look for, because we wanted like a motif, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
To do it, so it'd be like a pair of eyes as who's. But David decided he didn't want it as that, because he thought anyone who's called Hegarty can join the band.
Yeah.
And at the time, their leader dived in, wasn't he? Blasted. So it just went to Hegarty, you know what I mean?
When you started gigging and stuff like that, I mean, when it comes to music, it's not something I never learned how to play the recorder at school, let alone I can't sing a lick. And you guys obviously, perform for us here tonight, and I've seen you live, and I'm not gonna blow smoke up your asses. I do genuinely. I think you're a cracking band. Nice, you get what I mean. So with that, obviously gigging and all that, did you gig previous with other bands, or was it when you just literally dove in the deep end and away you went?
Well, I done it. The first time I ever done a gig was for you, wasn't it? The House of Scouse. It was at
the Lomax.
The Lomax. It wasn't with these. No, I had it was the same. A few of the same songs, but Jay Moon and Steve Bryant joined me, and I can't remember the name of the band.
Rupert Murphy and the Eggmen.
Rupert Murphy.
I've got it down.
We had to come up with a name. I just said the most random thing you could think of. Rupert Murphy was my cat when I was a kid.
Have a cat called Rupert Murphy. So I've got 2 cats, so I've got Mildred and Mavis, so I can't say the name.
That was I done that gig, and that was it. And I didn't think I'd do it anymore, but and then that came up.
I actually unearthed, I haven't tagged you in, didn't I? last year, the video that
Yeah,
I
he
found on
found it,
YouTube,
yeah,
because
yeah.
we didn't have much footage from
No,
that
no.
show, because at the time I think everything was still like
I don't think I'd learned
Bluetooth
how
and that,
to...
wasn't it?
I don't think I'd learned how to tune the guitar.
And I think it was Robbie. Robbie had the only video, and I think that's where I ended up nicking it from, because that
Was it,
night
yeah?
we had Crouchy there, didn't we?
Peter Couch was there.
Crouchy was there, we throw him for the raffle. And
Yeah, we were asking him, did he want to play drums for us? We never had to do it. He took it dead serious.
It was weird, like, we had Lee Butler begging Peter Crouch to do their robots, and he put 50 quid in for charity, and Crouchy was too serious.
Yeah.
But what I was going to get onto is, I always tell David, and I probably obviously I don't speak to you guys as much as David, but
Doesn't like
the album, your album, it's in my album list. I always have it playing. I have it on today. I always have it playing. So, with the album itself, I know when it originally started off, it was an EP. You were doing an EP, wasn't it?
We done a 4-song EP,
Yeah,
yeah.
and then you
just demos the first time we brought it out, yeah.
Then it went to the LP.
Yeah,
Which was the album.
The album, yeah.
What's the future holding for you? I know Anthony jokingly mentioned before
Yeah.
about the split.
But we never,
We'll skip over that.
we never felt, it was just, well, we're all mates, we've always spoke to each other and all that, do you know what I mean? It's hard to come away from something, do you know what I mean? Like, it's always in my head that I'm writing songs in my head, do you know what I mean? Just, that's what I do, kind of thing, so I'm always writing new songs, and it didn't take long before we was like, should we have a little cracky, do you know what I mean? And we can't do it full time, we've all got full-time jobs and kids, and that comes first. We've all got commitments, which is more important to us than band life and stuff like that. But
so is there a second in the pipeline?
Well, we've done a new single, we've recorded a new. I sent you that one.
Yeah, but is there another album going to come with it?
Well, we've already recorded 4 songs.
Right. Exclusive here.
Well, yeah, we've recorded 4 and we're going... we haven't...
He missed 3 of them, like.
He didn't tell me.
We're back in again to do a few more at the weekends.
We're in on Sunday to go.
That's about it at the moment, like.
Is there an idea, is there a concept, is there something there, or is it just see what falls?
There's no concept, it's just, I just write them as they come along. I don't sit there all the time writing songs, it's just,
I know,
I get a spare 10 minutes.
I've seen Wacker's done a few songs as well.
Yeah,
Do you write on the album?
A couple of songs, one of them.
Yeah. So is that the case of all you writing songs?
Yeah.
Everyone writes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's whenever we get together for a practice, which is very rare, and then we'll throw a song in the mix, and then that'll be on the next album. Simple as.
So a step-by-step process. If, for instance, now you're all sat in the studio,
yeah,
and you're thinking, right, okay, Wacker's just told us there's 4 songs on it. How does the decision come around? Do you just like, you turn up one day, Wacker, and you start playing something you've got, or do you just
put it on a group thing? We've got like a little group chat and
you just throw songs to each other?
Just throw little demos on there, and everyone like gets their own ideas for it. And then when we get together, the song's born.
I do like that actually.
Well, what can you do?
We play it once and that's it.
Play it once, go in the studio, record it, and
it takes 5 years and then he's
yeah.
This one will take 3, won't it?
Like you said, you've got personal lives, kids, full-time jobs, and with that as well. With regard to gigging, is that as tough to try and plan? Is it, or is that something where you go, we fancy doing a few little gigs, like over a 6-week period or something, and then drop back to the studio and get back together, or you just think ahead?
We don't have a plan. We just have
there's no plan.
Wait for things to happen. Do you know what I mean?
If a good gig comes up, you'll take it. Simple.
And that's why you're here.
Yeah, and you ask us to do, we always say, yeah, I mean,
that's it. That's always absolutely appreciated. Right. Oh, you left me to deal with this.
Right, I've just, for those who can't see, I've got a little notepad here, which has got all my little bit by bit what we're talking about, and I've just seen LFC, EFC circle, and then push the mic towards Ant. Go on.
So you'll leave me with this one?
I'll leave you with Liverpool fan.
So I'm about to get thrown under the bus here now. Right, we had a little chinwag about this before, because there's 3 blues and 1 red who were at the start of the show. So, we know you're a red, you're a blue, Ian?
Red.
Okay, so Foz has balanced out a little bit now.
And Chris, the bass player, is a blue as well.
So Chris is a blue.
And Alex, who plays the piano, he's a blue as well. So
okay,
3-2.
Oh, 3-2. In short, this season.
I'm proud of that season. I don't care what anyone says.
Fantastic.
Right, I'm going to take my headphones off. I'm going to let this pipe bomb do its thing. Alright, so yeah, you're made up You're made up for
We've still got a Champions League final to go as well, do you mean? We've had a good season.
It's
Why are
improved.
you saying nothing?
Well, it's improved
I'm
from last
watching him
season.
and he's
Do you know what,
saying
we never like have serious arguments about footy, you know, we wind each other up, obviously,
Yeah.
any chance we get on the group thing and that, but it never goes any further.
Alright, so let me ask the thieves, the whole topic of conversation we kind of thingy, the whole bitter and banter thing, is it one-sided or both sides bitter, or is it just banter both ways?
Both banter each other, mate, and
It's-
some people take it too
it's
far
both-
as well. It's
Both way, yeah.
it's a
If
fucking
you
joke,
can't have
isn't
a laugh and a joke about it, don't get involved.
Yeah.
Simple.
Ian's
it?
staying
You get
quiet
it,
now.
you get it.
I'm mixed family.
Yeah, yeah,
Red,
yeah.
red and blue
Yeah,
all
man.
on it. We all.
My nan's an Everton fan, I say I hate Everton fans to me, my nan who lives in our street, she's 94 and she loves Everton, you know what I mean? She had the season ticket for about 60 years I think, so I mean it's
So when Pickford messed up, you were round at your nan's way and you banged
Oh,
on the
banged
windows
on the
going,
window. Yeah, right, it was, she didn't let me in. She knew I was there.
Still not round for Sunday dinner now.
No, she knew I was there, she wasn't getting in.
Right, I've got to ask you all. Years ago I used to do a wrestling podcast and stuff on YouTube, and there's a world famous question that one of my closest mates and godfather to my kids, Mick Stocko, always asks, and he's given us permission to use it on ScouseCast. So, David,
Yeah.
Wach, Ian, one at a time, what do you all like on your pizza?
Okay, I'm not fussy me to man.
Let's be honest, there's no...
Do you like pizza?
Everything's a right answer, but there's a wrong answer.
There is one wrong
I know what you're
answer.
going to say, but if I get a pizza, I always get a meat feast with onion, extra cheese and olives put on as well, and jalapenos. That's my pizza.
Okay, alright.
I'm a boring swat.
No, I can
Cheese,
say
tomato, onion
Margarita.
and pepperoni. That's it.
It's just a pepperoni pizza then.
Yeah.
Pepperoni pizza with extra onion.
Pepperoni, you know, with
Flaming
flaming
hot,
oranges and
beef
onions.
feast, loads of chilli. Tons of chilli. That's me.
None of us have pineapple, is that what you're going to ask?
Yeah, that was it.
Oh, now we've got to beat that out.
That's the
I do
swear
like
word.
pineapple pizza though.
Yeah, no, to be honest with
Wait,
you, no, that's one of the things. That's one of the swear words we've
Egg will
actually
not.
included.
Refuse any pizza. You can put drop shit on it and then
I know we see him working
I'm
up and down the stairs in the rival gym afterwards. Gents, has always been an absolute pleasure. Welcome
It's been
guys
our pleasure,
anytime.
it's been our pleasure to come on.
Look forward to having you back on again. Take care guys. Thank you.
Nice one, thank
Nice
you
one.
very much.
This is Scouse Television.
House of Scouse Television.
Well,
Everybody wants me to live.
Sing closer to that
Sing
black
closer
light.
to it, yeah.
We don't mind if it's...
Be the bubble,
Yeah.
the bubble soul. It's my only dream. I'll have to move back to do the handball as well. I only practically played handball for 2 years ago. I never bring it to gigs, do I? They would get on stage, get to the song, I'm like, folks, it's like, it's too loud, isn't it?
You got the chords there, Nick?
Got the chords, forget the fucking words. We never fucking practice, you know. I get to the halfway through the song, sometimes I think.
We're in the studio on Sunday. We haven't even fucking had a practice since fucking January.
You get there and you go, so what do you want to do? Like, you have to practice the song first, mate.
There you go, well, there's your father side with us, isn't it?
Just like a practice.
Music father side.
I
House of Scouse Television. House of Scouse Television.
Right, we're back now with Foz, and we're going to have a little quick to finish tonight off. 10 minutes of boxing chat. Okay, it's a shortened version of a podcast idea we have called the Championship Rounds, where we fire questions at Foz. Foz is normally would have 3 minutes to chat away about it, but tonight he's got a minute on each one. So, Stephen Smith's here, now been replaced, all fixed, back from injury. Thoughts?
He boxed in Nottingham last week at the 6th rounder against Des Newton. Won 60-54. Was he's untried. He's got me there. Right? No,
Corpse in the first.
He's back in the gym today. Spoke to him earlier on. He's hoping for the European title shot or a shot at Martin Joseph Ward, and he could have another fight lined up on July the 6th at Manchester Arena.
And breathe. Okay.
Right, let's go into another one. New breed of Scousers.
Yes.
Tom Hart as a kid, well, he wasn't on the last show. Tom Hart was a kid that we were talking to and looked a little bit into.
Yeah.
He's in, I think, with Joe McNally now in his corner.
He is, yeah.
Yeah.
Joe McNally and Declan and Rock.
Yeah. So, do we have potential of a new wave of Scouse fighters that can come back through and follow up what Placey, Bellew, Smith, are all them done at the same time? And I'm going to throw Robbie Davis Jr. in the mix with Tom Hart as well.
Well, I think you're wrong to throw Robbie in with the likes of Tom Hart, because Tom Hart had one pro fight.
No, don't get me wrong, there's a disparity in the number of fights, but I mean, they're the next line of Scouse fighters.
Well, yeah, I'd agree with that. Obviously, we saw Anthony Fowler suffer his first defeat at the hands of Scott Fitzgerald back in March. You've got Callum, who's a world champion, Callum Smith, hasn't boxed for 9 months. By the time he fights Hassan and Dan, little exclusive there. By the time he boxes Hassan and Dan one during the first at Madison Square Garden, we have got a new wave. There are a load more turning over, all of which will be revealed soon enough.
Well, I left that open because I was expecting you to give us a couple of names to keep our eye on. That was going to be my next question. Who do we have to keep an eye on from Liverpool in the future?
Billy Potter,
okay,
Tom Aitchison, and Michael Hedges. They're just 3.
What gyms are they all coming from? Are they all Rotunda, Solly?
No, there's a couple out of the 4 corners.
Okay.
In Aintree with John Gillies, and you've got Tom, who's gone with Robbie at Dave Tonks's gym in Speak. Right. There's a couple of others going over that will be revealed soon enough. Okay. But the crop coming over from the amateurs into the pro game is getting more and more, and it's looking healthy.
Right, I like.
I kind of feel a bit thingy mentioning Rocky today, obviously, because we know obviously our respect and sympathy goes to Oliver Harrison's family and all his friends. So today, obviously it's a tough day for Rocky because they've laid Ollie Harrison to rest today, haven't they? Yeah. So I'll leave the Rocky Canelo fight because I don't think that's appropriate. Callum Canelo at Anfield, just to spin on that. Could Paul, the talk is going to be Anfield, maybe at some point. Could we see all 4 Smiths on the card, even if Paul just gets into enough shape to do a little 6-round retirement fight, say they've all fought on the same bill at the same stadium?
No, because it will never ever happen at Anfield. Purely because Anfield costs more money to hire than Wembley Stadium. And there I'll leave that one.
Oh. Bombshell. Bombshell.
Pipe bomb. Okay, white collar boxing and the ABAs. I'm going to throw them both in together.
You can't.
No, just as youth views on both the amateur boxing and then
the ABAs showcase the best of amateur talent. White collar boxing for me is a completely different sport. It's one that I scarcely recognise. If I'm going to be truthful, it's one that you do see a lot more now that are coming from that sort of background straight into the pro game without having too many amateur fights, if you like.
I'm just going to say 2 words as well, Foz, which will probably flip your boat on that.
Go
Semi-pro.
Do not. Next.
Okay, I mean, I know we've asked you. I mean, we're done with our white collar shows now, and you know, you supported us through them. I've got to ask, I know your feelings on that. What for you made our shows different, apart from having like live music like Hegarty? And
There was the music aspect. There was the fun aspect. It wasn't all serious. There was the community aspect.
Yeah.
That was something that sort of pulled me towards them, if you like, because it was something that wasn't being addressed in any other organisation within white collar boxing. So yeah, just the fact that it was different and it was all about everybody else rather than about yourselves.
right, go on, Jack. I'll leave you the footy section.
Oh, sorry, just before we
sorry,
go, I just want to ask one more thing, just because it was so contentious at the time.
Go on.
Cash Alley, David
yeah.
Price, and
Yeah.
obviously David Price is obviously scheduled to be fighting the White Rhino, Dave Allen.
Yeah.
What's going to happen with Cash now? I know he got, was it a 6-month suspension? Did he get in a fine?
6 month suspension, 10 grand fine, and had his purse withheld.
Was his promoter Eddie M, or was he just being brought in?
No, his promoter is I think it's Errol Johnson. His promoter, but he was brought in as the opponent.
And will we likely to see Cash Alley back in the ring again? Do you think Sky going to give him any time?
I think we're sitting in an age today whereby, and Eddie Hearn's already said it, Cash Alley will get another fight on the back of that. Although I disagree with it,
Cash boxing.
Cash Alley will get another fight on the back of it, because it's like with newspapers, sex sells, and okay.
I don't want to see that during a boxing fight.
It wasn't exactly sexy, but it was controversial, and controversy sells in boxing.
It does. Controversy does sell, but biting another man on the chest while you're fighting him is just.
Yeah, well, before Jack does that, we won't get into detail now. We'll talk about the Wikipedia title another time then. You know, Tyson Fury's Wikipedia Championship. We'll talk about that. The lineal title. We'll talk about that another time.
Yeah,
don't set him off. Over to the beauty one at the end. Go on.
I don't think you can like this first one if it's written down the way it is.
It is.
Bang the time.
Yay!
Bang the city. Right. I took a job as the media and press officer for Bangor City Football Club earlier this season.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Doing all their matchday media, sending out press releases that, to be honest, I don't really want to be sending out, but it's my job, you get paid for it. I get looked at as a villain because of the association of Bangor City in the past, with basically the fans don't like the owners.
Right.
And as soon as my appointment was announced, I got the backlash.
So in short, because people who don't know who owns Bangor City.
Basically, Bangor City is run by the Vaughan family.
Ah, got you.
Right?
Witness Vikings.
Yeah. So Witness Vikings, Chester City, you know, Barrow. It's they've got history, shall we say?
Yes, they do.
And
I know that from the rugby league.
And they won't mind me saying they have history, but it's one of them. I don't work for the Vaughans. I work for Bangor City Football Club,
okay.
And this is where the fans are sort of mixing the two up. Okay, I haven't come on here to defend myself. Although it sounds.
I was just wondering why you turned up in a blacked out Range Rover today with four pit bulls coming out of the back of it.
It was just to make sure.
As you hide your Rolex.
Just to be safe. Just to be safe.
Right, quick fire on these two as we covered them earlier on.
Go
on. Liverpool, good season, bad season?
Good season, not a good enough season. Manchester City deserved to win the league for me. Manchester City did enough to win the league, Liverpool didn't. Liverpool's draw, was it, at Everton? Was it a draw?
No.
Yeah. Anyway, Liverpool dropping points at Everton cost them the league this season, in my view. Nobody else's fault.
No.
Everton can celebrate it if they want to. Manchester City won the league. That's the top and bottom of it.
Staying on Everton again, good season or bad season?
Good end to the season. Give or take a couple of results against Fulham and Newcastle. You don't go out and smash United 4-0 if you're not okay at something. You know, yes, Everton are getting results against the big six at home. That's a plus. Next season, Marco Silva's got to do some turning around, both of the fans and that playing squad. But ultimately, it looks like Everton are on the up.
And England in the semis of the Nations League.
That Nations League is the biggest load of rubbish.
But what about, isn't it for me, it's better than friendlies though, come on, I mean a friendly match
It is a friendly.
Yeah, it is a friendly, but technically there's more competition in the game itself rather than going to say, play a friendly against Brazil, I don't know where, Holland or somewhere like that. I know Brazil tend to rent themselves out and go around the countries like that, the Harlem Globetrotters, but
San Marino.
you know, there's competition in it, and if you look at the draws and the teams that people have to play in it, you know, Germany and Holland were in the same group, you know what I mean? So we were in, was it Spain? Who was we in there?
Spain,
Yeah,
Germany and Holland, yeah.
So, you know, there's...
That was a friendly then.
So there's still friendly.
Technically, yeah, but I mean,
no,
for England...
as well as the Nations League.
Yeah. But I think it's a bridge gap into something different. I do think they need, and there's probably space to have a yearly international tournament. I know we have the Euros and the World Cup every 2 years rotating, but I think there's gaps in between to stick in more. However, maybe we'll get another podcast out of that at some point down the line.
Just quickly before we finish, it's a bridged gap into something to line UEFA's pockets, and there is where I will leave it.
Ooh. Right, so on that controversial note, Foz, what do you like on your pizza?
I am a meat feast man. If it goes to Domino's, it's got to be a barbecue base. With wedges.
The Fawns are paying them well.
with wedges, chicken strips. And do you know what's really nice about Domino's while we're talking about pizza?
Hey, ask Stephen where's the witness making his money.
the chocolate pizza out of Domino's.
No. Right, we're going to wrap it up there, Scon. Anything you want to add in closing?
I miss Bootle.
Oh no, you've been down in the South End for a couple of hours, you alright?
Far too long.
Yeah.
I think so. I'm a few friendly faces anyway.
Your visa's alright anyway, so. And then from you, Jack?
I'll just thank you for tuning in this evening to our very first House of Scouse podcast.
Definitely, I want to thank Foz, of course, want to thank Hegarty, who is still here, so glad you're here.
1 second, there's a guy just behind us that you probably won't see. His name is Ian and the Florrie have been fantastic with us today. This guy's been here and literally he's had to put up with our grids all day. So massive shout out to the Florrie.
Yeah, definitely agree. This will be on Florrie Radio as well.
Good.
He's a what? Come on, you can do this. Yeah, so thanks for tuning in, and same time next week.
Yes.
You'll be alright next week, yeah? You'll be recovered.
Hopefully get over the jet lag.
Okay. Same time next week?
Same time next week.
You'll probably turn up, won't you? Because you've got nothing better to do.
I'll have to check the diary.
Right, so thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you all down the road. Take care, good night.
House of Scouse.
House of Scouse Television.
House of Scouse Television.